Greetings, Earthlings, and all extraterrestrial creatures. My name is Christopher Alexander Robert Clark Youngblood, aka Big Daddy 69, coming at you live from our palatial Portland, Oregon studios. God bless Coach Mike McDonald of the Seattle Seahawks. God bless America. God bless Earth and the entire universe. Namaste. It is 7:01 Pacific time on Friday, October 17th, 2025. This is Legion of Zoom podcast, week 6, and I'm going to say week 7. Week 6 of the NFL season happened last week. Week 7's happening this week. Seahawks with a huge win. Man, I should probably do some preparation for this podcast in my head. All I do is watch sports, man. I watch MMA, was watching UFC all day today, college football, and NFL. And the Seahawks picked up a massive victory over the Jaguars on the old road last week. And of course, that didn't slip my mind until we had been thinking about that all day in preparation for this podcast. No, but the Seahawks are good, man. This team is legit. Sam Darnold was legit. My ex team, my ex ho, the Vikings, shouldn't say ho woman. I'm trying to grow up and use more appropriate, mature language, especially as I continue to develop a more mature relationship with my romantic partner. My actual lady, the Minnesota Vikings, fucking stupid letting go of Sam Darnold. The Vikings had Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, uh, and Aaron Rodgers potentially. Like they actually had Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones on the roster. Aaron Rodgers wanted to go there, and they went with McCarthy. Now they got Carson Wentz. So Vikings with the big game this weekend against the Eagles. There, the bye week last week after having 2 games in Europe. Seahawks. Y'all, I haven't even looked at the NFL schedule. Who the fuck does Seahawks play? Whoever they play, I'm confident. I'm confident against the Seahawks and anyone in the fucking league. I don't fucking know what they play, honestly. I know Georgia plays Ole Miss. Alabama, I think, is a big game. Man, I'm super prepared to talk sports. Georgia plays Ole Miss. The Vikings play the Eagles. The Seahawks play. I honestly don't know. LSU plays. I don't know. But college football is popping as well. Bulldogs with a huge win at Auburn. A little bit of controversy, but the dogs roll. I like to eat my chicken and have me some drink. I take a little, I take a look at the pretty girls, give them a little wink. Then I sit there, think about who we gonna beat. And all I really know is that that big dog is gonna eat. I don't know. I fucked it up. I heard it on a podcast. I'm probably shouldn't know it as a Georgia alum, but the big dogs roll again with the win over Auburn. They got Ole Miss coming up, and then it's a gauntlet, I believe. Maybe A&M and Texas after that. Man, could use buzz right now. Anyway, speaking of which, Legion of Zoom is, I think, running pretty thin. The text group is like zero activity. Granted, y'all, my texting and email and all that shit, I have never been worse in my life with responding to texts and email and social media, man. I don't know, social media, I'm almost just thinking maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to make a promise. I just redid this, like lowered this thing. It's like all on top of each other. But that's good because there's crossover. It's like a Venn diagram. There is crossover between Mike and the United States. They are separate entities, but they're also one and the same. Um, what was it talking about? Legion of Zoom, lack of activity on the text group. Um, yeah, I've never been worse at texting with everyone in my life. I need to make a promise to myself and to my humble audience here that I'm going to respond to my texts at least once a week and phone calls. I'm so sorry to all y'all out there. I just hate being on my phone. It's not like I'm just like my day is pretty full. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't work a ton, but do a lot of yoga, a lot of training martial arts. I'm gonna try to be very intentional with like my day, and organized. And I don't know where the time goes, man, but I certainly don't prioritize checking my texts and emails. Real phone calls, I really do try to return. because that's like to me more personal. Someone reaching out than texting. I just find texting. I almost have this aversion to it. I know I talk about this shit a lot, but I need to get on it and just accept it as part of existence because it's disrespectful, and I do want to have a social life, and that's part of having it. And I'm gonna be need to be looking for some kind of new profession, not well, new source of income soon in the new year. That's gonna be part of at least the pursuit of a new source of income. Uh, so anyway, I need to get on that, and specifically as far as the Legion of Zoom is concerned, very little activity. I don't on that as well. And can we address as far as the texting is concerned? And I don't think people are particularly interested in coming on the actual podcast, but whatever. I chug along. I'm chugging along every week. I don't give a fuck. It is a little weird. I guess I got to finish out this season with like the whole Legion of Zoom thing. I guess I could just abandon it mid season. Like who really gives a fuck, right? It's not like there's sponsors or something to worry about, but it just feels uh like I should. Although I will say it's getting increased with the lack of activity on the Legion Zoom text group, the lack of interest it seems from my boys, those associated with our Lord and Savior head coach Mike McDonald, friends from the past, and then the huge elephant in the room. Not, I mean, at least in my fucking brain, elephant in my brain is that our Lord and Savior head coach Mike McDonald. This dude hasn't responded to like my last, I don't know, 3 texts, 5 texts, something like that. And so it was cool. I grew up with this guy, Don't get me wrong, we were close friends back in like middle school, mostly like late elementary, middle school, and then less so in high school, less so in college, but still like, buddies texting now and then, saw each other every now and then, caught up every now and then in like young adulthood 20s. I've told the story about the last time we really hung out was at the horse race, Belmont Stake or Preakness, whatever the horse race is in Baltimore when he was with the Ravens, and we went pre-gamed at his apartment, and then I had a whole weekend planned of hanging out, but I got drunk as fuck tailgating for this horse race, and I'm used to going hard with uh my boys from UJ, but there's been times too, back in the day in my 20s when I would drink and party, that even those who know me well and have a high tolerance for my I don't know, drunken debauchery will like call it quits and call it a night and ask me to like go home. And that's what he did. He asked me to go home from there, which wasn't like anything huge, disappointing because we were going to hang out the whole weekend. And I was embarrassed and just like I called the weekend short after that. And that was the last time we really hung out, unfortunately. But we've kept in touch, texting as his career's progressed. And I've just kind of followed his career and sent him texts and just so proud of the guy. It's so inspiring. And, like I've known this guy before puberty, and to like think of us as little kids still in the playing football at the rec center and in the drive in the street in front of our houses and at school as little kids, and then now this guy is what I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts the best coach in the NFL and will be truly successful, one of the most successful coaches in NFL history. Like, I know it sounds so hyperbolic, but I really believe in this guy. I've seen it happen every step of the way. Um, just as far as his development as a human being. Anyway, it's all to say, in actual adulthood, we haven't been close buddies by any means. Um, but now I have no communication with the dude whatsoever, so it feels a little weird. I guess just continuing the celebration of his career is something I'm very interested in doing. So that's what it is. But it does feel weird now. No one shows up for the Legion of Zoom, and I don't have that close of a relationship with the dude anymore. Um, and I want to go to check out a game. That's kind of one of the commitment I'd made to myself, that I'd always go to at least one game a season. And I saw him the last 2 games I went to or the last game I went to last year. What was that? The end of last season. And so, yeah, I don't know. Perhaps this will be anyway. I'm just fucking rambling all of my internal thoughts, but that's what I do here. Um, but God bless the guy. God bless the Seahawks. Um, uh, It's so cool to see. It's so cool to see, man. And fun to watch. Um what else is going on? UFC. I went to UFC 322. 2 weeks ago now. Man, it is such a blur. I've been flying back and forth to see my girlfriend in California and LA pretty regularly. We went to UFC 320 in Vegas a couple weeks ago. That was badass. Probably the best sporting event I ever went to. I don't know if I talked about it much on the podcast last week. But we saw Alex Pereira knock out Magomed Ankalaev in the main event. Rob Dvalishvili defeat Corey Sandhagen in the co-main. The energy that rumbled through that place too after that early first round knockout from Poatan Pereira for the light heavyweight championship was like unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my life. It's so cool to witness the highest level of this sport. Speaking of like football and being a kid and playing football and sports with Coach Mike and my other friends back in the day, the sport I truly am passionate about and consider a deeper part of my soul and my future, honestly, and obviously present, is martial arts. And to see that displayed at the highest level with two championship fights, bantamweight and light heavyweight championships, was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in person as far as sporting event is concerned, or live event is concerned. So UFC rolls along. UFC is becoming highly corporatized, and it's hard to differentiate even in your head, like week to week. I guess the NFL is like that too, but the NFL is more of a week to week story to follow the drama of the season because there's continuity from week to week, where the UFC is kind of these standalone events week to week, right? So the event I went to, Alex Pereira wins the championship. Rob Dvalishvili wins the championship. These dudes won't fight again. Well, actually, Marab's a fucking animal. He's going to fight again in December, but that's what, 3 months later? That's the earliest you're going to see a guy repeat is 3 months later at the high levels. So it's the continuity of, excuse me, the week to week drama of the sport isn't the same. Um, I don't know what I was going at that point, but yeah, it was an incredible event to see. Last week we had Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot down in Rio. The events in Rio are always wild, dude. The crowd is so fucking hyped. They're the most hostile crowd for sure to opposing fighters. Um, and they always get, not always, but it seems like they're always getting hostile with dudes when they're getting on the mic in their post fight interviews, which is interesting to see. Uh, Charles Oliveira got like a pretty fucking easy submission, rear naked choke, much easier than I was expecting from Mateusz Gamrot, who's an elite grappler. I was not expecting to see that. Uh, the card otherwise didn't have a ton of pop on it. Jose Aldo, good fights. Don't get me wrong, but none of the huge names. The biggest thing for me was, well, Jose Aldo retired. Jose Aldo is one of the greatest fighters of all time, greatest featherweight of all time, arguably. I guess not, or maybe not. One of. Um, he retired and they did his walkout and he put down the gloves. That was cool to see. And there's this new dude, Vitor Petrino, who's coming up in heavyweight. Keep an eye on this motherfucker. He was fighting a light heavyweight before. Vitor Petrino. He's moving up from light heavyweight to heavyweight. This guy's a fucking like superhero. Most heavyweights are pretty tubby and just like big giant guys like linemen, not necessarily like chiseled dudes. This guy's chiseled out of fucking stone. He's enormous, and he's got knockout power. And I think his ground game's pretty good too. So the heavyweight division needs a shakeup bad. There's not a ton going on in the heavyweight division, but the UFC is poised to have a massive fucking year in 2026. The greatest year in UFC history was 2016. That was Conor McGregor's rise. Uh, 10 years later, the UFC might be poised to have another massive fucking year. This White House card is going to be huge. Conor McGregor is looking like he's going to come back for it, which for me, I'm not really into it. All these guys, I've talked about this before. My favorite fighters in the world, John Jones and Conor McGregor, have become my least favorite fighters because they seem like such pieces of shit human beings outside of the cage. Incredible fighters, incredibly entertaining, incredible charisma, especially in the case of Conor McGregor, but just seem like complete fucking dirtbags outside the cage. So it's hard to root for these guys. I hope that if John Jones is rumored potentially to come back to a hope they both get knocked the fuck out, if I'm being honest. If all of the allegations and shit against them are true, which there's so many at this point, you have to imagine it is. I mean, I hope these guys get fucking slept. Uh, Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion, potentially be on that card. Ronda Rousey will be coming back. Ronda Rousey will be coming back to MMA and the UFC this year, which is fucking insane. The rumors are out there, and it just is making sense. The White House card is going to be huge. If Rousey comes back, that would be fucking huge. McGregor comes back, that will be huge. If McGregor and Rousey come back in the same year, I mean, the UFC will fucking explode. Um, John Jones would then potentially come back. That would be fucking, John Jones, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor all return to the sport in 1 year. I mean, what the fuck? On top of that, Francis Ngannou, who is the lineal heavyweight champion of the world and my favorite fighter of all time, I believe has one fight left on his deal with PFL and could potentially be back as well. Dude, if John Jones, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, and Francis Ngannou all fight in the UFC in 2016, holy fuck. That'll be the biggest year in UFC history, potentially. That's all a lot of what ifs, especially because two of those dudes are fucking like career criminals. So, I mean, on career criminals, not that they make a living off it, but like repeated fucking criminals, man. So, and Francis Ngannou is on contract with another organization. Ronda Rousey hasn't fought in fucking 10 years. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? A lot of this, none of this could happen. We just have a normal year. But the UFC could use a shakeup if I'm not lying. If I'm being honest, they could use a shakeup. It's getting a little. It's always awesome, but it's I don't know. There's something about it. It doesn't have the same pizzazz that it once had. So yeah, that's what's going on to me. Like passing my time. It's been a weird place in life here, man, where it's like I'm in this weird in between zone where anyway, I left LA. I'm here in Portland. I know I'm only here for a short time. I'm really only here for the girls. I don't really have a social life, nor am I like super hell bent on investing a ton of social or time and energy in social relationships because I'm going to leave here quickly. Uh, it's my job doesn't only requires about 3 hours of my day, maybe sometimes four, and random times here and there. Let's say 3 hours a day. Um, yeah, no. So it's like I'm just kind of passing the day a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on next professionally. If I'm being totally honest, I don't even know if my girlfriend listens to this podcast or not. I don't want to like get too personal about our stuff, but it's like I love her very much, and I'm very excited about what we have. But we've had our issues, and it's like, especially with the long distance, it can feel fragile at times. And so I'm also not. I say all that just to make the point that I'm not like doggedly pursuing any sort of job opportunity anywhere right now because I have every intention of moving back to LA, and I'm excited about that. But I guess nothing is guaranteed. Um, Also, like, I don't know. I don't. This area has its benefits, and the winter right now is getting rough. So, but there's more and more people moving up here. One of my girlfriend's closest friends is moving up here. I don't want to stay in LA long term, although Southern California is like, especially right now, it's just increasingly badass. And my body feels so much better when I'm in Southern California. Um, so I think SoCal might be my next. It might be the long term plan, regardless. But and even Burbank, where she currently lives, is a relatively calm part of LA, which is what I'm looking for now. Is more calm, less population density, more green. Uh, so yeah. I did two back-to-back weekend trips to LA. I was there the last 2 weekends. I'm gonna be in Portland the next 2 weekends. JoJo's got two soccer games for the last two soccer games of the season coming up. I'm super excited about that. That's been probably my favorite thing I've been doing since I've been in Portland. Right now is coaching JoJo's soccer team. So much fun. So cool to see those little girls progress, how quickly they progress, how like even seemingly not interested in soccer. A lot of them were at the beginning, but how coachable and excited and invested they are in their team and in their growth as soccer players is so cool. And to see how kind of fragile and delicate some of them were to when we first began, and just 6 weeks later, how tough they've become. And I mean, it's 6-year-old soccer, but like some of them like could barely fucking walk. Seem like with cleats on and shit on grass, and now they're playing soccer, so it's really cool to see. It's been super fulfilling, and I'll make $1 from it, and it's like reminding me like, oh, maybe that's where I should be going next. thinking maybe PE teacher. I've done that before. It was a weird time in life. It'd be cool to run that back. It was probably my worst teaching performance of all the years I taught in like a formal school setting. Uh, was that year I taught PE, so it'd be cool to run that back, and that's something I would find very meaningful. And the setting of teaching would be it's conducive, I think, to like my success, like the routine of it, the breaks. The income obviously is not ideal, but I live a fairly monastic lifestyle, I think, relative to the average American. Um, and the breaks, summer, having like 1 month every summer, I know I could take a trip, like a big trip, be sick. So we'll see. I have money in the bank. Nothing needs to be rushed. I don't want to be stressed or not present with these girls and what I'm doing on a daily basis. So I don't even really plan on looking for a job or anything until 2026 once I'm like officially done. Like literally packed up and out of here. Just rent a place in January in LA for the month and find a job. Even just a part-time job to begin with, and maybe get my teaching certification, everything backfired up, and anything I got to do to become a PE teacher. I don't have any specific certification in physical education or anything like that as far as the school system is concerned. So whatever that entails in California. So yeah, um, continue training martial arts on a daily basis as much as I can, man. Man, there's been some jujitsu tournaments I've missed. There's one this September 20th. Obviously, IBJJF. Want to do gi and no gi. Ah, uh, but prioritizing the relationship right now, and I'm cool with that, man, because it's just something I haven't done. I haven't gotten that journey in life, man. I've gotten double gold at multiple tournaments now, so it's like I've proven to myself that I'm elite grappler for jujitsu practitioner for my like age and weight class and belt level, and I continue to prove that to myself on a daily basis in the gym, and so while I do want to continue to compete and I will compete again, I also need to recognize that like how much of my desire to compete is like an obsession, and like kind of every time I'm competing, even when I've won double gold is or single gold, double gold, it's like, oh, that was awesome, but it's like now there's a feeling of like emptiness, kind of not emptiness. It's weird. It's like you reach the top of the mountain kind of and no one's there. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's cool and a great feeling and feel satisfying and fulfilling, but also it's not like it kind of teaches you like, man, you need to like develop internal fulfillment regardless, an internal peace regardless. Uh so I'll continue to compete, and I really wanted to compete this fall on September 20th, and then there's another tournament tomorrow actually this weekend. Um that's like a local Oregon tournament that a lot of dudes in my gym are competing at, and like it's kind of being hyped up my gym, and I would love to go in there and smash and get double gold again, but uh not to sound cocky, but I'm confident I could. Uh yeah, but I have not been training as much as I would like to. My body's a little banged up, the travel. I have not been on top of my diet as well as I should have. I'm kind of can see that in my face right now. Not looking as like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm feeling good. Like I'm satisfied with my personal development as a martial artist, or at least as a jujitsu practitioner and grappler right now, because I'm not doing any fucking kickboxing, which I am not happy about. But it's just the schedule when I have access to as far as gyms are concerned here in Portland as opposed to LA, and it's just like I had so much great shot, man. I miss LA so much, but it is what it is, and life changes, and we just go with the flow and do the best we can. But I would love to get back into training kickboxing. And I would love having an MMA fight by the time I'm 40. I keep saying that, but I really would. And perhaps maybe that's where most of my like competitive focus will go. I don't know. I'd also like to participate in Jiu-Jitsu World Championships. Perhaps those my formal competition. I want to do like competitions that my gym is excited about and people are excited about at the gym. Like this little, or I don't know, I want to call it a little tournament, but I'd never heard of it, and it's not from an organization that I had heard of. This tournament coming up tomorrow and Sunday, but people in my gym are excited about it, and if people are getting excited about a competition, I want to participate in something like that. That gets me more excited rather than just some like random like the I didn't hear anybody talk about the IBJJF Portland at my gym on September 20th, and that was the one I had been eyeballing prior to even moving here. But this whatever one at Oregon grappling something tomorrow, people in my gym are excited about it. So that's what I want to participate in. And I'd also want to participate in world championships like IBJJF World Championship in Vegas, Jiu Jitsu World League Championship, a world championship where then I could prove, okay, not only I am champion of Southern California or Northern California or LA or Portland or wherever, champion of the world. I want to be world champion. Seriously. And that's totally doable. And I'm confident I can do that. So we'll see. I need to get settled in this upcoming year with a new training routine and gym and all that shit. So, and there's also, I need to find a new job and all that stuff. So, this is the game of life, man. That balance between, finding fulfillment and things you like to do as far as passion is concerned. For me, martial arts right now. Um, how are you making money? Like part of the game of life is just making money, right? Just acquiring financial resources in our capitalist modern society. And that's just part of the game. And you're doing that, like you should be proud of yourself if you're just like supporting yourself and your family. And then, there's a lot of other things like your personal development. If you're developing a romantic relationship, social relationships with, friends, if you have children, there's all these different aspects of life where you want to be good and successful in. And my life is relatively simple right now. And I find my days are full and busy and require a lot of my time and energy, but I know I want to keep adding to what I'm doing and be successful in all those areas, or what I consider successful, right? Look at me, I'm sitting in my fucking buddy's basement right now recording this uh, podcast, but I actually do consider myself successful in a lot of areas of my life because I continue to develop inner peace within myself, confidence in myself, happiness with how I'm spending my time, happiness and contentment with how I am acquiring financial resources, um, contentment and happiness with like the depth of the relationships I have. Always want to continue to grow and expand in other ways and in those areas as well. But I don't know. I would like to continue just be consciously develop as a human being in all these different areas of life. Um, cool. Scouring my brain right now for what else is going on in the world. I don't not following politics or any of that shit at all, y'all. I'll probably get back on the Rogan train. I haven't listened to Rogan. That's my fucking source of news and politics aside from just conversation with human beings, Uber drivers and shit. Uh, so I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. I try to limit my personal tax burden as much as possible and be a good human being. That's all I can fucking do. Uh, that's my political involvement at this moment. And quite frankly, awareness. Leave me the fuck alone as far as I'm concerned. Be a good human being. Be kind to your neighbors. I don't know. Be open minded and tolerant as much as possible, as long as people aren't having a detriment on society. uh, yeah. Go Seahawks. Go Dogs. Go Tigers. I still have affinity for LSU, especially because one of my jiu-jitsu coaches that I see multiple times a week is a big LSU guy. And so it's like my biggest college football interaction on a regular basis is an LSU fan, and my first favorite team was LSU. So go Tigers! Although this coach, fucking Brian Kelly, come on, man, let's get Lane Kiffin in there. Anyway, y'all, I think that's it. Georgia's got a game tomorrow. Go Astronauts! That's their soccer team. Fucking love that name. God bless everyone out there. I will talk to y'all probably next Friday again. I'm thinking I'll be here in Portland this weekend. I want to get hiking. Anyway, I'll probably talk. I want to get out in the woods. Got a bunch of personal shit to do. Look at all this goddamn laundry I need to fold. Not a bunch of personal shit. I need to do laundry. I need to check my text messages. I need to check my emails. I need to respond to my phone calls and check my voicemails. I need to take my car into the shop. And that's kind of it. I could probably knock all that shit out on a Saturday. And then I want to get hiking on Sunday. So I think the next 2 Saturdays, I'm just going to take, on Saturdays, I'm going to take care of my personal errands and shit, coach JoJo's soccer game. On Sunday, taking a fuck ton of mushrooms, and I'm going to go hiking. And on Friday, I'm going to record the podcast. And then the first weekend of November, I'll be back in LA. And that's what the next 3 weeks of my life are going to look like. I'm going to train martial arts, going to watch a lot of sports, smoke a lot of weed, and try to be as present as possible with JoJo and Emmy. I am, they are such sweeties. They are such pure, beautiful beings. And I love them both from the depth of my soul. And it breaks my heart, and it has been breaking my heart on a minute by minute, day by day basis that I know that I will not have a daily relationship with them forever. But thus is life. And I don't want to sit here and cry at the end of this. But I love them so much. And today I was thinking, it's okay. You don't have a daily relationship with your nieces and nephew, and you love them from the depth of your soul. And you just have to accept that they're going to grow, and you're not going to be there every day, but you are going to see them multiple times a year, and you will have a relationship with them forever. But man, I've raised these little babies from when they're both little babies, and they're both now big girls who are so sweet and loving and caring. And Emmy, little 4-year-old Emmy, this morning telling me how dinosaurs were eradicated from the earth. Gave me a perfect description of the meter, the whatever is there a fucking term for the dinosaurs? I want to say Big Bang. That's the fucking beginning of the world of when of how the dinosaurs got eradicated by a fucking meteor, what she called a space rock. It was so fucking cute and so smart and so insane that she is explaining to me about extinction of species extinction from cosmic as a result of cosmic impact, and she's fucking 4, and she's just not just fucking scream and cry and shit herself, and that seems like yesterday. It's so crazy. What a beautiful, incredible journey. Oh, the most beautiful journey I've been on in my life is raising those 2 girls. Oh, what a fucking pleasure. I love them so much. And I love you all so much. Namaste.